For the past 3 years, I've been trading full-time, consistently, pulling in $30,000 a month from day trading. But before any of that, I lost over $50,000 learning how to do this stuff, man. And a good chunk of that money went straight into trying to get funded, applying for evaluation after evaluation after evaluation. So trust me, I know exactly how it feels to pay for one of these, fail it, and watch your entire money go to waste without getting a single payout, just to do it all over again. But look, after eventually getting funded myself and then helping hundreds of normal people just like you get funded and scale to that same 10 to 30K a month, I've cracked the closest thing there is to a guaranteed way to get funded in 2026. Seriously. So this is going to be a complete guide to passing the Apex Trader Funding Evaluation, so you can finally start trading real money without risking any of your own. You see, I'm going to break the whole thing down into 3 things I learned that finally got me funded, and then at the end, I'll share my screen and then I'll show you exactly how to do it live. And on top of all of that, I've got some good news for you. Since Apex is sponsoring this video, they are currently giving you a 90% discount on your evaluation when you use the code DAY. So you can get started for a fraction of what the rest of these traders are paying. So go start your evaluation through the link in the description and use the code DAY for 90% off while it's still available. All right, let's get right into it. Now, the first thing I learned, and honestly the one that everything else is built on, is that passing this evaluation has way more to do with your approach that you take on the account than how good of a trader you actually are. Because the number one reason less than 5% of traders actually get funded is that you're fed the completely wrong picture of why you're failing in the first place. You see, when you blow an account, the story your brain tells you is that you're not a good enough trader yet. Your strategy must be broken. You need a better system. You need to use different time frames. No. Or that if you could just find the right setup or the right indicator, then you'd finally get your hands on that 50 grand and reach that profit target that you're desperately aiming for. But in reality, what's really happening is that the moment most people get that much money to trade with, they feel like they just walked into a casino. Suddenly, there's $50,000 in front of them, even if it is demo, and the only thing that they can think about is hitting that profit target as fast as humanly possible. You see, and that's the thing that you have to understand before anything else. You see, passing one of these challenges has nothing to do with how fast you do it and has everything to do with how you approach the account. So the very first shift that you need to make is to stop treating this like a lottery ticket and start treating it like a business. The way you should think about it is like an investment, and the whole game is just to make back more than you spent to get in. So that's the first thing. Get your head right. Treat it like a business. Now, the second thing I learned is that getting funded really comes down to one rule, and it is your trailing drawdown. Whether it's the end of day trailing drawdown or the intraday drawdown, how you approach it, how you trade around it, if you can get that part right, you can stack the odds so far in your favor that failing becomes the hard part. You see, when you start a $50,000 account, your balance sits at 50 grand. And then underneath you, there's a line that you're not allowed to cross. Think of it like, I don't know, a floor beneath your feet. On this account, that floor starts a couple $1,000s below you, specifically $2,000. If your account ever drops down far enough to touch that floor, the account is gone and you failed. But here's the part that catches most people. The floor isn't fixed. On an end of day trailing drawdown, it trails with you, which means it rises up behind you every time you make money. So if you make $1,000 and your account climbs, that floor climbs right alongside with you, like a shadow that follows you through your highest point and never falls back down. And then for an intraday trailing drawdown, it follows your highest point even during a trade that you haven't even closed yet. So if you're up, let's say $1,000 on the trade, but you get greedy and you don't take the money, the market reverses and that profit melts away. But that floor that was trailing already moved up to match your peak. So now you've got way less room than when you had started with, and you didn't even lose any real balance to make that happen. That is intraday trailing drawdown. And you see, that's how the majority of people fill these accounts without ever really understanding what actually hit them. So the takeaway here is actually pretty simple. Hitting that $3,000 target was never really the hard part, because the thing that takes almost everybody out isn't hitting the target. It's blowing the accounts before they ever get there. So to fix that, just stop trying to grab the whole thing at once and just let it add up from small, steady wins instead. Garden that cushion with your life the entire way. And once you start trading like that, you'll realize that Apex actually makes the rest of this pretty simple, which is a big reason I use them and why they're also backing this video. Let's really think about it. There's no minimum number of days that you're forced to trade, which means that there's no clock ticking and there's no pressure to actually force anything to pass your account quickly. You can take it at exactly the slow, steady pace that we just talked about, one good trade at a time for as long as you need. And most importantly, there's no consistency rule on the evaluation itself, so you're not getting punished for having one big day while you're actually trying to pass. You literally just hit the target without touching that end of day or intraday trailing drawdown, and you're funded. And once you're funded and start pulling in payouts, you keep 100%. Yes, 100% of the first $25,000 you withdraw before it ever moves into a profit split. 100%. You see, that's about as good as this industry is gonna get. So now that you understand the different trailing drawdowns, the third thing that I learned is how to actually trade around it to pass. And it really comes down to 3 habits that work simultaneously together. The first habit is that I size my trades against the drawdown, not against the profit target. What I mean by that is, on the $50,000 account, you've got around $2,000 of room before you hit that drawdown. So instead of asking, how fast can I get to 3 grand? I flip it. And I ask, how many losing trades can I survive before I get to 2 grand? If I take that $2,000 of drawdown and I split it into 4, that's about $500 per trade, which means I would have to lose 4 trades in a row before that account is blown. And if you know your setup at all, stringing 4 straight losses together is rare if you're taking 1 trade a day and you're done by 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So right away, just by sizing against the drawdown instead of the target, you've turned this from a gamble into something you'd have to actively screw up to lose. And if $500 a trade still makes you nervous, split it into more. Make it $250 per trade. Give yourself 8 trades before you're now out. Because the way these firms make their money is off people who size up so big that you're sweating through every candle, not even thinking about your setup anymore. So if you size small enough that the fear goes away, suddenly you can actually trade properly. The second habit, and I kind of already gave it away earlier in this video, and it is a big one. 1 trade a day. You see, now if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But if you already are, you've probably heard me saying 1 trade a day keeps the 9 to 5 away for the longest, because it is true. It simply means win or lose. Once you've taken your trade, you're done for the day, walk away. Because the second you take a loss and you try to win it back, you're gone. You take another trade, that one loses too. Now you're emotional, you're forcing trades that are nowhere near your setup, and just like that, poof, 1 bad hour burns through 3 of the 4 lives that we just talked about. Now your funded account is in the dirt, it's in the gutter, and you are about to lose it. So just take your 1 trade, you walk away, and honestly, the easiest way to force yourself to actually do that is to take yourself out of the equation completely. You see, because if you're trading Apex on a Tradovate platform, it'll let you just set a daily loss limit inside that platform itself. So you set it to 1 trade's worth of risk, $500 or $250, whatever you decided. And the moment that trade is closed, the platform locks you out for the rest of the day, whether you like it or not. Now you physically can't revenge trade because the account simply won't let you. The settings is in Tradovate, so make sure you go to Tradovate to actively engage that into your account. Because I used to place my 1 trade, set my stop and my targets, set that lockout, and then literally close my computer and walk away. And that one habit did more for me passing these funded accounts than any setup, any 1 minute inversion, 3 minute IFEG ever did for me. So that handles your risk and it handles your emotions. And the third habit is what actually gets you to that $3,000 target. And is that you simply go for clean, simple targets, AKA low-hanging fruits. When I'm passing an evaluation, I'm not swinging for 1 to 3s, 1 to 5s, 1 to 50 home runs. I'm taking small, even trades. When I'm risking about the same I'm trying to make, yes, a 1-to-1, boo, it will get you funded. Please listen to me. And the reason for that is simple. My hit rate on those is extremely high, way higher than when I'm actually trying to aim for those 1 to 3s, 1 to 5s, giant winners. So I'd rather win small and win often, because 4 or 5 of those clean little wins, and I've already hit that $3,000 target without the drawdown ever getting close to me. And one more thing, you have to lock in your profit when you've got it, because remember, that drawdown follows your highest point, even profit you haven't banked yet if you're on an intraday trailing drawdown account. Profit on the screen isn't really yours until you close the trade. And if you sit there waiting for more, the market will come and it'll snatch it right back. And now the drawdown has crept up on you and you have nothing to show for it. So never let a good winner come all the way back down to break even, and you sure as hell never let it turn into a loss. When you're up, take what the market gave you. Keep your cushion fat. So when you put those 3 steps together, you stop swinging for that one hero trade, 1 to 50 setup that either makes your week or ends your account. And instead, you start taking small, boring base hits. 500 here, 600 there, 750 the next day, just chipping away at that target. While the floor, the drawdown, the trailing drawdown, intraday drawdown, whatever, it never even gets a chance to catch up to you. And I'll tell you again, it's extremely boring. It's not exciting at all, but it's repeatable. And repeatable is the entire difference between the people who get funded and the people who keep buying accounts after accounts after accounts, hoping that this account is finally the one that they pass. Now, before I show you all of this live on my screen, there's one more thing that you need to know about, because it's waiting for you on the other side once you've already passed. The good news is once you pass, almost nothing changes. The exact same discipline that got you funded is what keeps you funded and gets you paid. The only new thing is one rule that shows up when you go to pull your money out, and it's just called the consistency rule. On Apex, it's set at 50%, which simply means that no single day can be half or more of your total profits when you require a payout, because they want to see that you can actually do this over and over, not just hit a 1 to 50 lucky home run once. And this is exactly where those 3 habits pay off again, and you don't even have to worry about a consistency rule. If you're taking small base hits, 1 trade a day, you're already consistent without even trying, so you'll never even come across the consistency rule. So the same boring approach that gets you through the evaluation is the exact same approach that gets you paid on the other side. Beautiful how it kind of all ties together, doesn't it? So from there, your first payout is really just a handful of clean days on the $500 minimum trade, and then that money is yours to take. So now that you've gotten all 3, I want to show you how I'm going to do it live in front of you. So I'm going to pull up my screen and I'm going to walk you through an actual trade, start to finish, so you can see the whole thing come together live. So let's say you just bought your first evaluation, right? And you're looking to start trading. Make sure you have a well repeatable system that you know, like, and trust. If you don't have one, then I suggest you check out my free course and you go through my session liquidity model. It works a lot. It shows up every single day in the market, and I'm literally about to show you right now, and go from there. First question you want to ask yourself, you want to build out your daily bias. So from what I'm currently seeing right now, the market is currently in a downtrend. So what I can estimate is for price to do something like this. So what am I looking at? I want to see some type of push lower to break structure here and to continue this downtrending market. So what can I see here? The market has opened, price automatically starts dumping. Do not FOMO into this. Remember, you only get one trade on the day. Do not FOMO into this. What am I waiting for now? Let's go back to the 1 hour time frame. There's a massive FVG right here on the 1 hour time frame. So I want to see price dip back into this FVG to continue going lower. So let's jump back to the 5-minute time frame. And then boom, if you know anything about my session liquidity model, this is London session low right here. What I am simply going to do is wait for London session low to get tapped. Let me take off this 1 hour FVG so we can see properly. Draw out my 5-minute IFVG. Let's make this 5-minute. Boom, 5-minute IFVG. I want to see gold displace through that IFVG. Boom, get into my short position. Set my stop loss above the high, and then go for low hanging fruits. So this is your final TP here, which is a 1 to 2.45. Boom. But I will get out of my some positions at this BPR right here. As long as it's more than a 1 to 1, boom. It's a 1 to 1.11. I would get out of at least 6 contracts. Let's see how many contracts this is actually going to be. Boom. We want to risk about $500 on this trade. So boom, about 470. Let's us risk that amount to make about 500 bucks in this trade. In this trade. Still in this trade. Boom. That's TP1. You could have gotten out of one contract or you could have gotten out of both contracts, but now you should definitely be break even and let price go hit your second TP. And then boom, TP2. And just like that, first trade on the challenge, you've made minimum $500 and you only need to do that 4-5 more times and your account is passed. You just take one of these clean setups a day, one trade a day. If you had done multiple TPs, you had TP1 and you had TP2, this would have been at least a $700 trade. Boom, now you only need about 4 more trades of that to be able to actually go ahead and pass these accounts. And if you go through my live stream, I've actually shown y'all passing these accounts, and it took me roughly 1 week, just 1 week, to be able to pass these accounts. I've shown y'all doing it live to show y'all that this method that I'm genuinely teaching you truly does work. So that's the whole thing. Start to finish. And the truth that almost nobody trading these accounts ever figures out is that everybody chases that $3,000 profit target like your life depends on it. But that was never the part that's actually standing in your way. The thing that actually decides whether you make it there or not is your drawdown. So whether you can respect it long enough and let your win add up is what will determine whether you're successful in passing these accounts or not. Now, to actually get started, every prop firm is going to charge you a fee to take the evaluation, because that's just what it costs to get access to your capital. But the nice thing with Apex is that your fee is already low to begin with, so you're paying less just to walk into the door. And then on top of that, when you start your evaluation using code DAY, you're stacking that 90% discount right on top of it. So you're looking at a shot at a fully funded $50,000 account for basically pocket change, as long as you do everything exactly the way I showed you in this video today. And like I told you at the beginning, I honestly don't know how much longer this 90% off is going to be around, because it started out way lower and I went back and forth with Apex to squeeze the biggest discount I could possibly get for you, because I know how it feels to waste hundreds or even thousands of dollars on evaluations and never receive a single payout. So if that doesn't earn me a like and a subscribe, I really don't know what will. But seriously, you know exactly how to do this, every single step. So go start your evaluation with the link in the description. Apply the code DAY, trade it the way I showed you, and let's get you funded, man. I'll catch your boys in the next one. Peace.